Conspiracy theories are everywhere nowadays. Some are harmless. Most of them aren't. They spread fast, infect minds, and in the wrong hands, they become weapons. Welcome to Killshot, my new series where I take aim at the world's most dangerous conspiracies and eliminate them with facts and real tested intel. I spent over 20 years in the counterterrorism space, and I'm an Israeli special operations veteran. I've worked alongside real intelligence agencies, tracked real threats, and know what disinformation looks like because I've lived it. You've heard the theories. Now is time for the truth. Get ready for Killshot, only on the Aaron Cohen Show.
We have a breaking news story to tell you about. Apparently, a plane has just crashed into the World Trade Center here in New York City.
You've heard it all before. Mossad was behind 9/11. 5 Israelis were caught cheering. It was an inside job. These aren't just internet rabbit holes. These are the most widespread toxic lies in the conspiracy world. And they didn't start in the U.S. They were fed by Iran, spread by the neo-Nazis, and amplified by the Russian state media. And this is a modern blood libel. And on this episode, I'm going to factually kill it, tactically and permanently. I'm a former member of Israel's counterterrorism and intelligence unit, and I've trained with every unit in Israel. And I also train law enforcement agencies here in the United States for high threat response. And I've seen what black ops actually look like. And I've also seen how disinformation spreads like a virus. Sometimes it starts in an intel agency's basements. Sometimes it starts in the basement of Tehran. But it always ends the same way. Someone gets hurt. And this theory, this lie about Mossad pulling off 9/11, it's not just dumb, it's dangerous. So I want to start where this theory was born. It traces back to 3 sources. Iranian state broadcaster Press TV, white supremacist networks like Stormfront, and viral internet forums that were around in the early 2000s. And the so-called dancing Israelis were 5 guys working for a New Jersey moving company. They were detained after someone called in a suspicious vehicle. The FBI investigated. 0 explosives, no Mossad connection, no plot. They were deported for visa violations and nothing more. And yet, that clip gets shared like it's gospel. Let's talk about the real tradecraft. Mossad doesn't hijack planes. They don't kill 3,000 civilians in the middle of a U.S. city. That's not how intelligence works. That's how terrorism works. And when Mossad wants to hit someone, it's surgical. A car bomb in Damascus, a poison envelope in Tehran, a cyber sabotage operation, or a pager operation. Everything is quiet, deniable, no cameras, no explosions on live TV. And if Mossad had done 9/11, you wouldn't know that they did it. And the reason why is because that's how real operations work. The pager operation, we wanted you to know about that because it creates fear. And people want to believe in secret puppet masters. It's easier to say the Jews did it than to admit our own intelligence failures. And these theories thrive because it gives people a scapegoat that's familiar. It's ancient anti-Semitism repackaged for the YouTube age. And here's the ugly truth. It gets clicks. It spreads because it's viral poison, but that poison ends as soon as we start to really look at the facts. This one didn't start in a vacuum. Press TV is Iran's propaganda arm. Literally pushed this narrative globally. And Russian intelligence bots at the time on the internet kept it trending. Early bots and Western conspiracy influencers picked it up. Because conspiracy's big dollars. And the result? A perfect disinformation storm that still poisons millions. Remember, conspiracy is big business. Everybody's on it these days. Rogan, all the conspiracy theorists are out there grabbing your eyeballs for clicks. So here's what actually happened. I want to unpack September 11th, 2001. 19 hijackers, most of them Saudi nationals, trained in U.S. flight schools under the radar. They were funded and guided by al-Qaeda leadership, including Osama bin Laden. They hijacked 4 commercial airliners. 2 were flown into the World Trade Center. 1 hit the Pentagon. The 4th, Flight United 93, was brought down by American heroes in Pennsylvania. And this was the result of real terrorist planning, not intelligence theater. And the truth, we in the United States missed the signs. The CIA had fragments, the FBI had some suspects, but the dots were never connected. Our intelligence agencies failed. This episode of the Aaron Cohen Show is brought to you by Merkava Coffee. This is the official coffee of the Aaron Cohen Show. And when I served in the IDF, coffee wasn't just coffee, it was fuel. And in the special operations world, there were nights with no sleep, missions that stretched for days, and no room for mistakes. Coffee was serious, and it kept us sharp, locked in, and ready to move. And let me tell you something, I still take it seriously. And that's why Merkava Coffee, strong, no nonsense, battle-tested, no fluff, no gimmicks, just good, bold coffee for the people who need to be at their best. And if you start your day like I do, like it's a mission, you know why this matters. Hit the link down in the description and grab yourself a triple order and help keep the lights on and support the Aaron Cohen Show. Appreciate you guys. And there is zero actual evidence that Mossad had anything to do with 9/11. There's no tactical logic. There's no political benefit. There's no internal source. Whoever's confirmed it, not one. And every credible intel report from the FBI to the 9/11 Commission points to al-Qaeda. We went to war because of al-Qaeda. This isn't a mystery. It's a case that's been solved. But if you believe Mossad did it, you're not searching for the truth. You're spreading a lie in different packaging. And the verdict? The conspiracy is dead, and I just buried it. Now let me talk about the intel world in Israel. If someone brought this theory into a real intel briefing at Glilot in Tel Aviv for a briefing, they'd be laughed at in the room. If they brought it into the field, they'd get someone killed. This isn't intelligence. It's just propaganda. So let me ask you a couple of questions. Would an intelligence agency really use suicide bombers? No. Suicide bombers are a hallmark of radical Islamic terror, not state intelligence services. And Mossad doesn't send operatives on missions that guarantee death. We don't do that in Israel. We don't train assets for years just to kill them. That's what terrorists do. That's called terrorism. That's not tradecraft. Is there any classified intel showing Israeli involvement? The answer is no, not a shred. The 9/11 Commission report, the FBI case files, CIA cables, none of them point to Israeli involvement. And if Mossad had played even a supporting role, somebody would have leaked it in the last 20 plus years. Zero defectors, no whistleblower, no documents, nothing. Again, why? Because it never happened. Let's keep asking the real questions. Aaron, would Mossad take credit for an op this big if it helped Israel? If it aligned with Israeli interests and could be spun as a national security win? My answer is yes. But 9/11 killed thousands of innocent Americans. It would have turned the United States against Israel overnight. And Mossad isn't sloppy. We don't play like that. They don't do ops that blow back on Tel Aviv or Jerusalem. This isn't just something they wouldn't take credit for. It's something they wouldn't do, period. Next question. Has Mossad ever targeted the U.S.? My answer is never, not once. There is zero precedence for Mossad conducting hostile operations against the United States. It's Israel's number one ally financially, militarily, and diplomatically. And that relationship is sacred. Mossad protects it. It doesn't risk it. Would 9/11 help Israel get U.S. support for the war on terror? Israel's already had U.S. support after the Second Intifada. The U.S. was already aligned with Israel on terrorism. Mossad wouldn't risk blowing up that relationship for a maybe. We don't do the would-be's, could-be's, and maybes. And they don't need to murder 3,000 Americans to get a seat at the table. They already had it. Next, would Israel risk being discovered for an op that kills 3,000 Americans? Not a chance. The stakes are too high. Mossad depends on U.S. cooperation for intelligence sharing, weapons, cyber operations, you name it. If Israel got caught doing 9/11, it wouldn't just be diplomatic suicide. It would threaten the very existence of the country of Israel. And so why is this theory so persistent on TikTok and Telegram? I'll tell you why. Because it's emotional. It's simple. It's rooted in anti-Semitism. It plays well in echo chambers and is boosted by Iran, Russia, the disinfo farms that want to fracture Western unity. TikTok doesn't care if it's true. It only cares if it spreads, and hate spreads the fastest. So who keeps amplifying the myth of the dancing Israelis? I'm going to come back to this again. State-sponsored media, press TV in Iran, online grifters chasing clicks, white nationalist influencers who repackage anti-Semitic tropes as truth-seeking. It's not about journalism. It's about blame shifting. And all those conspiracy white nationalist chat rooms, very anti-Semitic. It's an easy package. Next, why do authoritarian regimes love this narrative? Because it weakens America and delegitimizes Israel. Iran loves this. They love it. Russia feeds it. China allows it. And if you can convince the world that Mossad did 9/11, you've just turned two of the world's strongest democracies into suspects. This is information warfare weaponized, and people have fallen for it. So I want to wrap it up with this. If this gave you clarity, share it. Tag someone who still buys into this trash and bring them here. We don't fight disinformation with hashtags. We fight it with facts and experience on the Aaron Cohen Show. Also, do me a favor, grab a bag of Merkava coffee if you want to support what we're building here. And also hit the link down in the description and join my Season 1 sponsorship team. You can grab yourself a mini sponsorship package. They start at $25. Helps keep the lights on in the studio. We're completely independently produced and helps me to continue to combat that garbage anti-Israel misinformation and propaganda that's out there. Hit the link in the description and join the mission. Appreciate you guys. This is the start of a new series called Killshot. I'm going to be debunking the most notorious and famous conspiracies out there. I'm Aaron Cohen. You're watching the Aaron Cohen Show, and I will catch you guys on the next one.